I was just watching a video at Live Hope Lupus that pretty much sums up everything I was going to say today fairly well. She's also been going through a rough time again, another flare, and she's struggling with that. And if you haven't seen her YouTube channel and it's something that affects you, you should really check out her videos. Some of them are really great and useful. So I'm over here 3-4 weeks into 40 milligrams of prednisone. So I'm swollen, still flaring, and just not getting better. And that's basically what she's talking about, is that despite our best efforts, to take our medicine, eat right, follow our doctor's orders, rest, it's discouraging to still be in pain all of the time. And for some people, like her, like me, like a lot of people that live with various chronic diseases, you're in pain every single day. Every day. Some days it's a little better than others, and that makes it a little easier. And I'm grateful for those days just like everyone else, but it's every single day. And I talk about positivity a lot because we don't have control over our bodies. When you're sick like this, you've lost control over your body. And it is a very difficult thing to wrap your head around. And I'm constantly still, years and years into this, trying to wrap my head around the fact that I have zero control over my 32-year-old body. I can't just start exercising again like I used to. I can't just eat what I want or eat healthier and it's going to make me feel better. I can't just have a nap and then wake up and have some more energy to carry on with the day. I can't just take off on a 6-hour trip to drive somewhere, an hour trip. I can't, when I'm sick, drive into the village that's 5 miles away from me to get milk. Some days I am so weak. She used a great analogy of not being able to put a thumbtack into her bulletin board. She was that weak at times. And that's a perfect analogy. I can't lift a glass, an empty glass. And it's so hard to explain to someone how dramatic and all-encompassing this can be. And for me right now, my biggest struggle, aside from pain and being on so much prednisone, so now I'm just swollen and just feeling crappy about it, and I'm having a lot of other prednisone side effects, including my eyes are 10 times more painful than normal, and my Sjogren's is flaring. The hardest thing for me to wrap my head around, to accept, to keep going, is the fatigue. It's mind-blowing. It's every inch and ounce of you. I can hardly keep my eyes open or find the energy sometimes to even speak. I don't know how to express that any better than that. You can't fight through it. And I wake up and I make myself get out of bed. Thank God I have animals now, because I probably wouldn't get out of bed otherwise. And maybe there's days I shouldn't get out of bed, but if I didn't have the motivation to do so, there's times where giving up does seem like the only option. There's still days that I have, and I'm having them frequently right now, because there's a struggle to maintain control of my mind. It is the only thing I do have control over, thankfully. And I know that, and I recognize that, and again, that's why I'm constantly bringing up trying to be positive and having positive thoughts. because our mind is all we really have, is a really good tool to help keep us on the straight and narrow. And it is a constant fight to have control over it, and you're not always going to be winning or on top of your game. But why make it worse on yourself has always been my kind of thought process, and that's what I try to remind myself. And what I mean by that is, don't add to it by putting yourself down or dwelling or letting your negative thoughts spiral out of control, because you're just adding to your already long list of suffering. But I am a fairly happy person, and I have all kinds of dreams and things I want to be doing. I have a really great life. I'm grateful for it. It's definitely not without its struggles that don't involve my health, but that's normal. We're human. We all have challenges and difficulties in life, but I have a lot of things to look forward to every single day. And I have a lot of things I want to be doing. I want to be writing more. I want to be redecorating, painting furniture, playing outside with my animals all day, fixing my barn, going on hikes. I have all kinds of wonderful, amazing things I could be doing, except that my body will not allow me to. And sometimes my mind. Sometimes when I'm in a flare, my brain is dead. I can't do simple equations. I can't finish words. I can't remember words. I slur. I stutter. The level of frustration and the fear that my body is going to totally give up on me is overwhelming some days. It's not just me worrying about me giving up on my body or on this fight. I worry more about my body giving up on me sometimes, because that is a real possibility. And again, that is something I don't have control over. Whether or not I give up, I have control over that. But whether or not my body decides to give up on me, I don't have control over that. And that's a very hard thing to go to sleep with every night, and it's a very hard thing to wake up with every morning. But it is what it is. And the fight is always worth it, no matter what, but it's just very hard to put into words how heartbreaking and challenging that is, and how very personal that is. It's not something that anyone can help you with, not even someone else who's going through a similar thing. They can't help you get through that, because it's a very personal struggle, and it's very painful, on top of the physical pain you are going to constantly have to deal with, and it's no joke. And yeah, so I just want to say that control of your mind is important, positivity is important, but also you're allowed sometimes to just recognize and acknowledge to yourself and everyone around you, but mainly I'm talking about to yourself, that it's a pretty big deal, and it's a pretty serious thing, and it's very scary. And all you can do is keep trying the best you can, the hardest you can, to live the fullest life you can with what you have. And that's what's frustrating to me. I know that I have the capacity for so much more living, or I could have had. I don't have it. And accepting that I don't have it is, something I still struggle with. Because, just brushing my teeth is hard for long periods of time. And... It's a struggle to stay strong and positive, but it also is what it is. So there's nothing else we can do except just give ourselves credit for trying and for sticking this out. And some days, if we feel a little more overwhelmed or down than others, I think that maybe not fighting it is not such a bad thing. You just accept it for what it is and let yourself have that time. You just can't live in that space of fear and sadness all the time, because it's a dangerous place to be, but it's impossible to not have it sometimes overtake you. But yeah, just don't give up, and don't stop getting out of bed every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. At least you tried.